Welcome to 5 Minutes with Errol Musk. I'm Anneke, Masters in Clinical Psychology, and we're talking about Errol's childhood years, part 2. Errol, you explained the backdrop of your school years. What would you say, with which person were you the most busy during your childhood years? Of whom did you think the most? Your
Well,
energy was busy with whom?
we had very good schools, and so each of the teachers that I had who had a tremendous influence on me. I can remember my teachers, Mrs. Goldstein, Mrs. Cameron, Mrs. Yule, Mrs. Pill. I mean, I can remember them all, and that's each grade, from the beginning. And I still brush my teeth the way Mrs. Pill said I must when I was in grade 4. I still follow exactly Mrs. Pill's instructions, and yeah, so they influenced me a lot. The teachers, the
Okay.
teachers,
Yeah.
very, very influenced me a great deal. Yes.
You just explained in the previous first video that we did on this about the situation of the war and how difficult it was. Did your parents go to school and attend some of your activities or take you the first day to
No, no,
school?
no, no.
Or
In those days, just too tough for working parents. Both my mum and my dad had to work, and so maybe I think I was taken to school on the very first day of grade 1. But after that, it was you go by yourself, and so that was my brother and me, and so we never ever had any taking to school or being fetched from school throughout our school career. They just couldn't do it.
if you think back, highlight of your childhood years, is there anything that you think would stand out more? Uh, Event or something that happened, positive or negative, maybe. Um,
Well,
I don't want you to delve now in very personal things. I'm just talking in general.
I was fortunate enough to be part of the post-war generation of people who were enthusiastic and wanted to get on, and so that enthusiasm of the adults and everything, it spilled over, and the teachers, as I was saying earlier, they would push you to be your best, and I was fortunate they used to actually give you positions in class, so I was fortunate enough to be in the number one position throughout my school career. And in fact, in my first grade 1, I used the break to make a drawing of a character called Noddy, which was like the famous Edith Blyton type of little character. And then when I did it in color, and when the teacher came in, I did it on the very corner of the board, and she said, "Who did this?" And it was about this high, I suppose. And I said I did, and then she was quite surprised, and then she called the principal, and I remember his name. His name was Mr. Fulune, and he came and to have a look at it. And I actually thought I was in trouble, and then then they said to me that they're moving me to grade 2. So it must have been a nice picture.
Must have been. Um, Errol, it is something different to be so intelligent.
I'm not.
No, I mean, you're on the number one position and so on. So, what was the reaction? I mean, inside you, I'm sure, you must realize you have done something well for your parents. What's the reaction of the other children if one move,
What other children?
the other children in the school,
Well, I
your
mean,
peers?
obviously, the people talk about bullying and all that sort of stuff. I mean, it's pretty normal. I mean, if you got 95% for a test, and the rest of the kids got 40%, 45%, they weren't very happy with you, So they would wait for you at the bicycle sheds, or if you're on feet like walking like I was, they would wait for you at the gate, and they would hit you with their school bags and so on, So it was kind of, you get used to that kind of thing,
Yeah.
I used to find a way to get to school also by taking devious routes so that I could avoid these characters who would stop you and take your anything you had, really. Young characters, I mean, all the other schoolboys, and so you sort of learned, you learn
Yeah.
to survive.
See, if I think,
I mean, it's so soft today. I just want to laugh.
but if one is really hungry, and there's somebody in front of you with a plate of food, you know, and you really want it and you can't have it, it must be difficult. So, if
Well, you know,
somebody wants what you have and they can't have it, and you have it all the time, there must be certain effects. So I think just you know, it's a challenge if you're so intelligent. It's
well,
not just easy.
I don't think I'm so intelligent, but I did get the highest IQ score out of 5,000 children at the Council for Scientific Research in South Africa when they tested 5,000 children. I scored over 150. So they said they don't have over 150 level, but I'm over 150. So that was, I suppose, it didn't mean anything to me because I sort of figured like, well, does this give me any money? You know, and there's no money in it. I thought, well, that's useless.
Errol, yeah, but were you aware that other people wish they could have what you were, children? No.
Well, you know, I mean, everybody. No, the kids in my own like class and stuff were, I don't know, they never behaved funny. You know, one or two of them did, but I mean, you know, it was more not about schoolwork. It was more about, you know, I was always at a co-ed school right through, you know, and so if the girls showed interest in you, the other boys would be very, you know, they'd like want to fight you and, you know, challenge you to a fight and all that sort of stuff. So it was pretty lousy in that respect. And you know, what do? You know.
At what time did you start to do karate?
Oh no, I started that only when I was about 18.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So you were clearly very driven. How did you think that happened? Where does that come from?
Well, I don't really know. You know, I mean, didn't see myself particularly as driven. I lived the, you know, sort of like anybody else. I suppose I was more interested in things than other people, than a lot of people, and I had a broader interest base or something like that. And you know, I didn't see myself as anything. But I mean, I tried to. I also like to read about and, you know, what people had done in the past. I was very into rocketry and von Braun and all those sort of things. You know, when I was about 12, 13, and the first Sputnik went up and all that. So you know, it's difficult to say. I mean, I would look at some of my friends; they were also driven. You know, so.
Okay. Thank you very much for now. We will discuss it further in the next and final session.
Okay.
Thank you, Errol. Thank you.